Hello out there, spray wash land. Try to get this thing set up here a little bit before we get started, get rolling a little bit here. I'm going to talk about a couple things tonight. One of the questions that was asked here not too long ago is about what sets us apart from the competition. So I wanted to kind of review that tonight. I'm going to go over that a little bit. Had a nice little chat with some of the guys for the huge convention getting ready to come up. That's not what we're going to chat about tonight, but I am going to be getting you pointed towards a huge convention here pretty soon. Tonight I want to talk a little bit about what sets you apart from your competition, but I got to bring up the huge convention thing. We had a really nice conversation with the new owners of the huge convention, one of the owners there, and we're going to be bringing out some exciting stuff pretty soon. I'm getting excited about the huge convention, even though that's not what this chat is about. Still wanted to make sure I threw a little plug in there for it because I'm getting excited about what's going to happen. What's up? Back to you, Mr. John Sacco. Look, so one of the questions that was asked is what sets us apart from our competitors, and that's really what I want to discuss here tonight. And I kind of want to go over with y'all. And for me, I want to get to an understanding most of the time. How do you answer that question? And the answer I get a lot of times when people talk about this is, well, what sets me apart from my competition is I've got insurance and I do a great job, and they don't do this and they don't do that. And look, do you even know what your competitors do? That would be first and foremost. So let's talk a little bit about what sets you apart and get to an understanding. Do you even know what your competition does? Because I think for the most part, when you look at it and you sit there and you start off going, well, we have insurance. Okay, well, how do you know that your competitors don't have insurance? Unless you have actual proof that they don't have insurance, by spouting that off, that's what most people say. Most people are going to say something along the lines, well, I'm not going to be the cheapest guy you're out there to hire. Don't know who the Facebook user is, but sup. It's unfortunately with StreamYard, when we use the StreamYard platform, what happens is it asks you to give permission to give your name. And so at the very top up there somewhere, you got to give it. Otherwise, I just see Facebook user until I go back and actually watch the thing, just so that you know that. So sup, whoever it is. So again, we get into that whole thing of, we're just better, or we have insurance, or things that we actually don't know the answers to. And so I'm going to encourage you to kind of step away from that, because that's what most people do. Hey, Dale, now that I got you, that's what most people do. They answer with the same things over and over again. The homeowners know that. They're ready for that. They expect that. They expect you to say, well, I'm probably not going to be the cheapest guy you're going to find because I have insurance. And that's what the last guy said. That's not what's setting you apart from your competition at all. Part of it for me, and what sets you apart from your competition, is the experience that you end up giving to them. Because here's the reality of it. I don't know. I have no idea how Dale out there actually does his job. I have no idea how I might have an understanding of how some of my competitors do things. I might have an understanding that they don't cover plants, or that they don't even have a ground guy. They're by themselves. I may know these things and I can say it, but how do you do that without bashing your competition, number one? So I'm going to encourage you, when you run into that situation and you have to explain yourself, or you have to try to get across what sets you apart from your competition. It's not going to be about bashing them. It's not going to be about, I have insurance. It's not going to be about those kinds of things. It's not going to be about, well, I'm just going to be a little bit more than the next guy. That's not what it's about, right? Hey, Barry's out there, and Ryan, hey, Doug, thanks for a class in PA last week. Grateful. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all for showing up. So let's start with the customer experience. And the first part of that customer experience is something that we seem to harp on all the time. And I hate to sound like a broken record sometimes, but how does that thing go? Answer the damn phone, ATHD or whatever it is. answer the damn phone is the very first part of starting that relationship and the customer experience. That's what I'm trying to get through here, is the customer experience. Show them what it is that you do, right? So going back to that whole thing about the competitors, and do you know what it is that they do? I'm going to venture to say most of the time, unless you've actually worked for them or you follow them around daily or whatever it is, you really don't know what it is that your competitors do. You might have a rough understanding of what they do, but you don't know what they do. Somebody here, being a Facebook user, is saying always pick up. Look, it's your customer service experience starts from the moment you answer the phone, the moment that you don't have to go out on a sales call. You don't have to go out there to every single one. I encourage it. I close more deals. I do better, by visiting in person. But part of your customer experience that you're trying to give them, answering the phone. If you're not going to go out and you're not going to give them an estimate in person, you're going to talk to them on the phone, still explain your process and your services and what it is that you do and how it is that you do. Again, if they're saying, well, what do you do that's different than what your competitor does? Look, honesty is always going to be the best policy, and follow that through with, you know what? I don't follow them around daily. I cannot tell you exactly what they do. What I can do is I can tell you exactly what I do, and get into the things that you do, the things that makes you special, the things that you're aware of that are going to set you apart from what they may or may not be doing on the other side of the fence as they're washing somebody else's house, right? So customer experience really for me is what it's all about. And you have to somehow be able to get across to them what it is that makes you special. I could name off several things, like just wiping down the ceilings, or we don't have rain gutters in our area, so putting down the Tyvek, or making sure that we cut in all the edges correctly. We're not going to leave. I can come up with lots of different things that my company does. But here's the thing. There are some guys out there that work for $99 and all that kind of stuff. We talk about them all the time, but that do really good work. There are guys out there that do that work weekends. We got, how many firefighters do we have out here right now that maybe don't work full time, but they do an awesome job, right? So again, I'm going to encourage you a lot of times not to be talking down about competitors or whatever. That's never a good thing, never a good path to go down. Now, I've had competitors in my market that I know don't really do a quality job. And when somebody brings up their name, well, so-and-so was just here, then I'll say, you know what? I really don't want to talk bad about competitors. If there was anybody I would want to talk bad about, it might be them. But how about this? How about I give you the name of 4 or 5 other competitors? Because I'd rather see you work with a different competitor than that one. I don't want to get into why, but I just want you to know you would be better off if you called any of these other 4 competitors. I'll give you their names and numbers. Would you like them? You'd be surprised how many times they say, yes, I'll take those other numbers, right? So share with them some of your experiences. Try not to bash the competition, that kind of thing. Let's see. Barry Shields says, do you get a second chance at a first impression? Absolutely not. Exactly, man. When you go there, and now let me go ahead and say this. If you go out and you are going to give them an estimate in person, especially, I've always taught this, right? When you go and you knock on the door, you don't go up there and just stay right at the door. You back up, 4 feet. Well, nowadays I'm going to say maybe 5 feet. So I think 6 feet is too far, to be honest with you. But, back up 4 or 5 feet and give them that little bit of space, that little bit of distance that they're going to want to begin with. Okay. That's something that should have been there even without COVID. You give them the space. You can create a good customer experience on the phone, in person, even by email. I find it harder to do the customer experience by email, but on the phone, I'm going to talk to them. And let's say, for example, that there's a dog yipping in the background, right? And about that customer experience, you're going to be something along the lines of, that sounds like you got the boss in the background, or, make a lightheartedness of it. One of the things that I always say, lots of people say, who do people buy from? They buy from people they know. people they like, and people they trust. And that's who you're supposed to become, right? So what sets you apart from your competitors is you and what you do and how you talk to them and how you work with them and how you give them that customer experience. If you're not setting out to give that customer experience, that really, to me, is the whole point of all of this. It's part of what we're doing. It's what grows you in business. It's what makes you be booked 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks out when you've got multiple trucks and everybody else could get to them within 2 weeks. It's what happens by building a customer experience and by, look, talk about training with them. We already said we don't know what your competitors do. We already talked about answering the phone. Do you show up on time? Do you show up on time? Do your competitors show up on time? There are lots of things that people complain about when they talk about competitors. One of the biggest things they talk about is they don't answer the phone. They don't call me back. They don't show up when they say they're going to. These are the normal things that happen all the time when people are talking about contractors. Because let's face it, that's what we are. We're contractors. I hate the word contractor. When somebody says, you're a contractor, right? I'm like, oh my God, no. I am not a contractor. When I go to a homeowner's house, it is about that customer experience. And when they say, oh, you're the contractor from Cajun Soft Wash, I tell them, oh, no, I am not the contractor from Cajun Soft Wash. I am your exterior cleaning professional. I am not a contractor. Contractors, people hate contractors. I don't want you to hate me. I want you to love me by the time it's done. I'm trying to build that customer experience, right? Let's see. Another Facebook user says, hello, my friend. I'm sorry. It doesn't show me who you are. And then we've got somebody here says, not every customer is yours. Some customers just don't fit your company, and it's okay to let them know to go with another company. Absolutely. Definitely. That is very, very true. But you should at least try to land them if you can, unless you don't physically want them, which is perfectly fine. It is also okay to fire a customer once you have them and you start saying, hey, you know what? These people are way out there, kind of a thing. I like those kind of customers because to me, I get to charge them double and triple and all that kind of fun stuff. It happens that way. So if you're not going to show up on time, this is about, I am trying to go over more the customer experience of it, right? And so if I'm not going to show up on time, what am I going to do? I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to call them at least, if I know 10 minutes in advance, that's the best. In my trucks, I used to set especially mine, I would set my clock 4 minutes fast, okay? And my goal was to be to that job before 4 minutes. So that way I would actually be between 4 and 8 minutes, okay? If you're there, with say 15 minutes early, you're really too early. And if you're not there within that 5 minute window, they're already nervous that you're not going to show up. So especially call them, let them know that, hey, I'm going to be a little bit late. Okay. Again, we're trying to find out what it is that sets us apart from our competitors, right? But if we don't know, we need to make this about the customer experience. And that's what you're going to keep hearing me go over. So showing up on time. I want you to focus on what it is that you do, not what it is that they do, because you may not know what it is that they do. All right, what do we got here? Dale says, Dale here, what do you do when a lady keeps getting in your face? I love that. Even when you kept backing up and she keeps being touchy. It makes me lose rhythm of my sale. Lots of luck. Dale, I guess I would have to actually see it to know what to say about that. If she keeps getting in your face, you're backing up and she keeps coming forward, maybe she's got a hearing problem. Honestly, think about it. It's okay to ask. It's okay to say something. It's okay to try to put a barrier between you and her. And that barrier can be, she's got a little fountain outside, or she's got a dog and you kneel down for that dog, right? And pet the dog to talk to her. So now she's up here and you're down here. That would be a tough one if she doesn't, and she keeps progressing forward towards you. Man, you have to find some way. I typically have a clipboard in my hand. I could simply rest the clipboard against my big old belly, I guess would be the way to say it, and tip that clipboard a little bit to give a little bit of space, that kind of thing. I'm surprised to hear that today because most people, even with Corona, even if you're not a mask wearer and all that kind of stuff, most people aren't trying to get very close to you nowadays. That's just kind of thing. You could simply look, I guess thinking about that, I might say something like, hey, Miss Jones, just to let you know, my company's got this stupid rule. I got to maintain 3 feet away from you, just to be respectful to you. Okay. So you could do something like that gives you that separation, and tell her, honestly, if she's doing that, it sounds to me like, I mean, without knowing the context of it all, maybe she just got a hearing problem. She's getting close. She's trying to read your lips. I don't know, but there's a thought for you. Derek says, good point there. Exterior cleaning professionals. Heck yeah. I'm not a contractor. I hate the word contractor. I have a story real quick. I had one of my greatest clients did a lot of stuff for us. We did a lot of stuff for her. She did a lot of stuff for us. Actually, she helped me find several employees over the years. And when I first met her, she was really standoffish because why? Because I'm a contractor. And when I was talking to her, she made that pretty clear that I was a contractor. And so it's still to this day, I make fun of her because she told, I'm not signing a contract with any contractor. Great. I'll never ask you for a contract. The way I look at it is that if you're not happy with our service, you'll never call us again. I'm not going to lock you into a contract if you're not happy with us. Boom. That was the start of a great relationship, and we built a lot out of that. Jeremy Brook, I always know because he's throwing in the yellow boots, peach boots. What if your customer don't like the fact that you wear yellow boots? Jeremy, they're peach, man. They're peach. They're not yellow. They're peach, all right? Actually, a lot of them were white because we call them Dulac dancing shoes down here in Louisiana. But anyhow, all right, getting back at it. So again, focus on what it is that you do, not necessarily what your competitor does, because you don't actually know most of the time what it is that your competitor does. I'm gonna encourage you to focus on education, right? If you're certified in something, and if you're not certified, I encourage it. Okay, and I know that we get lots of times out there in the industry, people say, certifications aren't worth anything. The paper they're written on, blah blah blah. Education isn't worth anything. Blah blah blah. Okay, great. However, I kind of agree with them, because if you don't use it, it does you no good, right? It does you no good to go through any education. I don't care where it's at. I don't care if it's at the Spray Wash Academy, Hindelighter's Place, AC's. I don't care where you get your education. If you don't use the knowledge that you learn against your competitors, that's on you. If you don't use your certifications against your competitors, that's on you. If you don't use your company shirts against your competitors, that's on you. If you don't use your wrap truck against your competitors, that's on you. If you don't use how that you're booked out 2 and 3 weeks against your competitors, that's on you, right? Focus on what you do and how you do and why you do, and promote you, right? Let's see. I'm not looking at these comments here. I'm putting them up here. Just get one of those bury the bone helmets. Oh crap. It's over here. Yeah. Okay. Doug has that. Will keep them at bay. Yes. So actually, I don't know if I can show you. It's on there. Back behind. I'm gonna show you all something. Check this out. This is my old dive helmet. I used to be a commercial diver by trade, and I had this hat special built, and I had, look at this little thing back here. I don't know if you guys can see that. I shouldn't be showing that here. Never mind. I'll turn it that way. That way there's no bury the bone in there. Sorry about that, y'all. That's funny stuff there. I was young at one point in time. I wasn't always this old crotchety guy, right? Dulac dancing shoes. Man, I love me some Dulac dancing shoes. All right. So, look, really, I'm going to push that education thing. I'm going to push the knowing what it is that you do. I want you to focus more on what it is that you do. And I want you to think about what it is that you do. Whether it's taping up electrical receptacles, whether it's doing good cut-ins, whether it's trimming branches, whether it's making sure that you wipe the window ledges, see whatever it is that you do in your realm of what you do. I want you to sit down just one day and just make you a little list of all the little things that you do and understand what they are, so that you can just rattle them off. Because I'll tell you, sometimes people say, well, what do you do? And I know what we do. and I got to sit and think about it, right? Because I don't think about them continuously all day, every day. You have to have a little itch in my ear. You have to have an understanding of what it is that you do, because you can't focus on what your competitor does, because you really don't know what it is that your competitor does. You have to, unless you're following him around, wasting your time, watching Jimmy as he drives around. I'm gonna follow around Barry everywhere he goes today, and I'm gonna see exactly how he does a roof. I'm gonna see exactly how he does a driveway. I'm gonna see exactly how he sells something, right? Unless you're doing that, you really don't know what Barry does. Okay, so education. Talk about the systems that you use. Do you have a proportioner? Do you have a proportioning system? It's a state-of-the-art proportioning system, right? Use that language. I do. I say, yeah, we use a state-of-the-art proportioning system. We can dial in our mixture ratios to be exactly what they need to be. I can change that mixture ratio. I don't have to use as much chemical because I have a state-of-the-art system. Use what you have in front of you and that you've paid for, that you've invested in. Use those things to your advantage. Well, look, one of the things that we do is we educate ourselves in how we do concrete. So although you might think it's just pressure washing, what we do is we turn our pressure down to 1800 PSI, because your house is fairly new, which means your concrete's new, which means it's not going to be as strong as it used to be in the old days. So we're going to turn that down. We're going to use a 4-bar tip, and it's got a 4-tip bar. So that's lowering the PSI on force onto the concrete, but increasing the GPM on it. Get into a whole sales pitch with them, educating them on your equipment. That's what's going to set you apart from your competitors, because they're just saying, yeah, you want your driveway washed? Okay, well, that's $450. Whatever they're giving. You don't know. I know I keep saying this. You don't know exactly what it is that your competitors do. So quit trying to say, oh, well, we have insurance. Okay, they probably have insurance. Most guys, Ray did that, the cleaning industry survey, right? We did that. We put it out, the cleaning industry survey. One of the questions on that survey was, are you insured? Okay. And I think the respondents on that was like 90-something%. I don't remember, so don't correct me. Don't yell at me if I'm wrong. But it was a high number of contractors that are insured. So when somebody says, well, what makes you different from the competitors? And you throw out that, well, we're insured. That's what everybody says. And guess what? Most of them are insured. Okay. And throwing out that whole, well, I may not be the cheapest, but I'm the best. Everybody is saying that. They're saying the same thing, right? So you have to find a way to set yourself out as a separate thing, as a separate identity, you need to be you, right? Don't worry about them. All right. So I got off on kind of the mixing systems, right? I got to keep notes because I'm getting old, right? I'm not just fat. I'm not just gray. I'm old, and the memory stuff is going on. So anyhow, let's see what this one says. Biggest thing I heard from some of my customers were damage to property and refusal to. I'm not sure what the refusal to is. So the biggest thing I heard from my customers were property damage. Again, this is where you educate your customers, right? Talk about that. If that's the biggest thing you're hearing, and you should be making a mental log or keeping a note of the most frequently asked questions or frequently asked complaints that you get. So if somebody says, well, the last time this was damaged, the last time that was damaged, you know what? It's even in your best interest to show them what's already damaged before you start. I do walkarounds with customers, and I'll notice damage, and I'll say, oh, looks like this may have been pressure washed before. And I won't say, looks like your pressure washer guy before did a horrible job, because guess what? They probably were the guy that did that. So bring up any damages that you see, and definitely key in on damage, right? It's one of the things, soft wash, pressure wash, that we go over a lot. And I would say, I'm a big proponent of, look, it's not about the pressure, and you really don't want pressure on this surface, and this is why. You don't want, and look, we all know you can soft wash with a pressure washer, that kind of a thing. But there's also that mental thought in a homeowner's mind where they hear the pressure washer fire up. Even if you're using an air pump or you're using a generator to start up your booster pump and you're not using a pressure washer, they still hear that machine. It's still a mental thing for them, right? So I'm going to say also for your customers, be convenient. And what I mean by that is, again, it's about answering the phone. It's about doing the things that are going to help them and, providing them with, this is going off on a different little realm here, but are you providing before and after pictures? And are you watermarking those before and after pictures? What are you doing to set yourself apart from your competitors to begin with? Are you taking your before and after pictures and are you posting them online, posting them on your website, putting them on Facebook? Are you doing these kind of things that are going to help set you apart? And if not, why not, right? So I keep seeing guys posting pictures all the time, and they're not only doing it here on the Facebook groups, but they're also doing it in, on their own Facebook pages, and they're saying, oh, look how great we are, but they're not watermarking their own pictures. So I can go in and I can steal those pictures. I can steal the picture even if you watermark it. That's a fact. But by watermarking that photo, you're laying claim to it, and I could get in trouble for stealing your pictures, and that makes it even worse if I took the watermark off of it, right? So again, watermarking your photos, really good idea. Providing those before and after photos, making it a really good customer experience for them. Also, think about this. They're going to share those before and after pictures with their family and friends, right? How many times have you gone out to a job and they've had their house washed before, they've had their concrete cleaned before, they've had their building cleaned before, they've had their roof done before, and you say, they say, yeah, well, we had our house washed before. Great. Who did you use? I don't remember who we used. You know what? Very early on in this business, I heard that, and I'm like, you know what? That is never going to be me. Okay. So I set myself out to watermark photos and send them photos and do things that are going to make them understand who I am and always want to call me back and know how to get in touch with me. They're like, oh, who was that guy that cleaned our house last year? I don't know, but let me go back and look at those pictures. Booyah. Guess what? Our photos are not only watermarked, I mean, they have our phone number on them as well. So if somebody mentions something, let me go back to that damage question, right? The thing about damage. If somebody mentions damage to you, let me go back to that one. All right. A guy that pressure washes, aka MTH power wash. The question is, or the comment is, the biggest thing I heard from some of my customers were damaged property. Okay, again, I don't know what the refusal is, but if they mention that their property was damaged before, that is what's called their hot button, right? If they say something like, well, please watch out for my roses over there, okay? Those roses are their hot button. If they say, I'm looking to get my roof cleaning done, but, can you do the sides of the dormers at the same time? That's a hot button. I wish I had somebody to do something about that chimney. That's what's called a hot button. If your customer mentions something, it doesn't matter what it is that they mention, it becomes their hot button, including if they say, oh, don't worry about that old chair I've got sitting out there. I mean, my granddaddy gave it to me, but I know it's just an old rundown thing. That's their hot button. Offer to clean it for them. Do something for free for them. You know what, ma'am? I'm going to move that out the way so that it doesn't get damaged by our sauce. I understand your property was damaged before, and guess what? We move all this stuff out of your way so that it doesn't get damaged. Address whatever that damaged item is. That's a hot button, and you want to address hot buttons. Every single time you need to address hot buttons. All right, this one is, I like to say I have a remote electronically controlled cleaning system that's state-of-the-art. Schwarzbach, mic drop. That's it. I mean, there you go. These are this is somebody who is paying attention, right? Using their equipment, using their training, using their knowledge. I lost my pen. I'm not going to be able to keep track of where I'm at. That's exactly it. You invested in that equipment. Why wouldn't you mention it? You should mention it. Yeah, I got a state-of-the-art remote control switch here. Turn it on for them. Show it. You've invested so much in your company and in your stuff. And I don't care if you're still renting a Home Depot pressure washer at this point, because you got to start somewhere. But believe in your equipment and use that to your advantage. Preach about it. Tell them, yes, I have this equipment. I've invested in. Look, I don't know if my competitor has this or not, but we have this remote control thing that allows us to automatically shut things on and off, so that if you happen to be walking by, hey, we can just click it off for you and try to help keep things safe. And, whatever it is, we can switch to water. We can help keep the plants nice and safe. We can do this. We can do that, right? Use the equipment that you paid for as part of your customer experience in what sets you apart from your competitors. Now that I threw my pen on the floor, I got to go get it. But I don't even see it anywhere. Oh, there it is. Hold on a sec. Come right back. But that was a good mic drop. Had to do the mic drop on that one. That one was good. All right. The customer will ask if you're insured. Yes. You want to know how I answer that question? When somebody says to me, are you insured? I answer, yes, I have car insurance. And then I keep my mouth shut. And they look at you like, I don't want your car insurance. No, I know. I'm just kidding with you. But I want to make sure to let you know that everybody's going to answer that. Yeah, everybody's going to say, yes, I have insurance, because a lot of them have car insurance. What you really need to be asking is, do you have workers' comp? Of which we do. And guess what? When I send you the proposal, or when I get back to the office, my guy is going to send you a copy, or here it is in my proposal packet. It shows you our insurance. And it's not just that we have workers' comp, we have general liability, and we have commercial insurance on our vehicles. So every part of this is properly insured to protect you, the customer. That's what you need to pitch to them. That's what you need to preach to them, right? All right, the insurance thing is a great thing, but you got to make sure that when they ask that question, throw it back at them that that's not the right question. It's simply because you want to make sure that they're asking the right question and getting to the right thing. Didn't finish typing. I don't know what that is. Sounds good. All right, let's go here. Only second season, but I logged 10% of work mentioning previous party damaging something and failing to acknowledge and charging full price. Customers have never pressed because they were afraid. It really does you good to mention the damage that you see. It does you a lot of good to mention the damage that you're not going to cause or why you're not going to cause. I always say, so one of the things that we've run into in the past is people saying about, do you use bleach? And yes, we use bleach. And well, the other guy said he uses something that's environmentally friendly. And then I say, yeah, and if he's doing it correctly, he's probably using bleach. You might just want to ask him, because yes, and bleach is 100% biodegradable, but so is crude oil and gasoline. If you'd like, I could go pour some gasoline out there on your driveway or on your lawn and see what happens to your lawn, because we both know it's going to die, right? Okay, so it's not about whether or not it's environmentally friendly. It's about how it's used, okay? Because crude oil is environmentally friendly. Bleach is environmentally friendly, but it depends on how it's used, right? So keep all those things in mind. Facebook user, I wish that this program didn't do that, because I'd like to know who it is I'm talking to when I say a lot of this stuff. But yeah, you got to start somewhere, and we all started somewhere. That's one of the things. I mean, I started out with a Home Depot pressure washer, and I rented a pressure washer and rented a surface cleaner, that kind of thing. So make sure to touch on their hot buttons. Another thing is, again, this is all about the customer experience. In what do you do that sets you apart from your competitor, and you don't know exactly what it is that they do. Your job is then to create that customer experience, right? If they come to the door and they've got a dog, bend down and pet that dog. But let me ask you something. This is something that's going to set you apart from your competitors, and I borderline guarantee it, right? Because if there's enough of them watching, then hey, think about this. How many of your clients have pets? Okay. And I did a video on this some years back about, are are you scheduling bathroom breaks? And I got all kinds of grief over that because everybody thought I was talking about employees, but I wasn't. Okay. Are you scheduling your bathroom breaks? Not for you, not for your employees, but for the customer's pets, right? What sets you apart from your competitors? One of the things that sets me apart is I ask them, ma'am, do you have any pets? Oh, you got a dog? Great. Is that dog going to need to come out inside anytime soon? We'll be in the backyard. We'll be around here for a couple hours. I just want to make sure that your pet is greatly taken care of. I don't want them having to run around holding themselves all, day. So if you let me know about when their breaks are, I'll be sure to make sure I'm out of the way. I'll knock on the door. I'll let you come out, let your dog go out, go use the restroom, go back in. Everybody's happy. That sells me jobs. I can tell you right now that sells me jobs, sells me jobs, sells me jobs. Because I'm giving them a customer experience that's beyond what anybody else has done. Pet the dog, ask for the bathroom breaks. Booyah. Let's see. That's our biggest sell when we say soft wash, not pressure wash, getting into the whole damaging aspect of it. Yes, I've said that also. Not really sure what that one is. Oh, hey, Mr. David, how are you? David's in the house, David Rivas. All right. When the customer said that he used to pressure wash his house, and I explained soft washing, and they'd never heard of it. That's something that we dealt with, a lot and still have dealt with. Very simply, that soft washing is still not a completely known thing, So it's your job definitely to educate them. And when you do that, you're going to sell jobs. Most people, I think, understand the damages caused by pressure washing. So that's where you pitch your soft washing process if it's on the house. Look, if it's on the concrete, because again, I'm not bashing pressure washing and all that kind of stuff, but selling your soft wash service is a really, really good thing to do. And it is something that can help set you apart. Another thing that you can do is you can simply offer them some sort of a satisfaction guarantee. Ma'am, I don't know what my competitors do, but I'll tell you this. I'm going to give you a satisfaction guarantee. You're going to be happy with us by the time you're done, right? One of the things that I do, I always give 2 business cards. And when I do that, I say, I'm giving you 2 business cards because by the time you're done with me, I want you to be so happy, you're going to give the second card away, right? It's about the experience. I don't know exactly what it is that my competitors do. I don't want to bash them. I don't want to talk bad about them. I've got some great competitors in my market as well, right? I just want to outsell them. I want to outdo them every single time. And I want to have good conversations with them. I like the competitors in my marketplace. I don't do it anymore, and I can't help them anymore. But I want to make sure I give the best customer experience and that my trucks stay booked out a long time and that I'm always booked out and my competitors aren't. That makes me feel good, right? All right. We've already gone over the insurance thing. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about being specific, okay? And what I mean by that is that, I don't know what this one is. What is this? I got to see that. It's the fist bump, and it looks like a rhinoceros. I don't know what that means, but there you go. Be specific in what it is that you do, how you do, and why you do. Share it with them in whatever aspect it is that you do. If you are cleaning gutters, be specific on how you're going to clean the gutters, how clean they're going to be, whether you're going to be removing tiger stripes, whether you're going to be trimming the branches back, whether you're going to be cleaning out the downspouts. Be very specific about what you're doing. Get to a good understanding of what it is that the two of you are contracting to do, right? I think there's a lot of things in there where people will say, well, we're going to wash your house. Great. But what does that mean to the customer? And we've even seen online here sometimes where people say, oh, this person wanted me to wash their roof included in the price. Okay. It's kind of on you, even though, it's not. It's a house wash. It's got nothing to do with the roof. They don't understand that. It's part of on you to try to help them get there and understand that, right? Another thing, do you ever talk about how long you've been in business? Okay, especially the longer you've been in business, you need to make sure that you're portraying that to the customer. Okay, because you can say, look, 3 years ago there was like 10 cleaning companies out there. Now there's 500. You really want to get a company that's been in business for a while. Think about this. Most companies fail in their first 5 years. We want to be your contractor for life. And so we're going to do an awesome job for you. We've already been out here for 8 years. Use your time and your experience to your advantage, right? You can twist some things if you want, if you're new. You can use being new to an advantage. You can say something like, I'm pretty new here. I'm still learning some stuff, but I'm educated. I'm part of the Spray Wash Academy. You can explain that. And you can say, just looking for a little bit to get me going here. I'm going to do the best job I can for you. I'll probably spend more time here at your house than anybody else because I don't have the same experience level. Yes, embrace it. Don't fear it, right? I'm probably going to end up spending 3 times as much time because I want to make sure it's perfect. I want to make sure it's right. I want to make sure it's spot on. Use that to your advantage. Use the years you've been in business to your advantage. I know we've gone over training a little bit, and I'm going to keep harping on that. If you're not using the education that you have, and let me qualify education, okay? Education can be Spray Wash Academy. Education can be Spray Wash Pro. Education can be Power Wash Unit. It can be the School of Hard Knocks is your education, right? If you've been doing it a while and they're asking a question about something and you say, you know what, let me tell you a funny story. I killed somebody's entire front lawn one time. I learned from that mistake. That's part of my education, and that's why I know not to do this, this, and this. That's why I'm going to do this, this, and that to help protect you and your property. Okay, use your education, even if it's from the School of Hard Knocks. You need to use that to your advantage. Another thing I don't think people talk about a lot. If you don't do this, I'm going to encourage you to do it. Okay, and that's safety meetings. Even if you're a one-man band, how can I have a safety meeting when I'm a one-man band? Okay, I can go online and I can look up OSHA training stuff. I can get in touch with Michael Draper about OSHA training. I can meet with others. Look, Spray Wash Pro is getting ready to make some announcements on different things. One of the things that we're going to end up doing is monthly Zoom and or Facebook meetings where we're going to do some accountability meetings. We're going to do some safety meetings. We're going to do all kinds of stuff that even as a single owner operator, you're going to be able to use that to your advantage to say, look, I invest in safety. I invest in chemicals. Everything that you invest in that helps sets you apart from your competitors. Use all of these to your advantage. Safety meetings to me are huge too. I mean, we would have a safety meeting. I'm going to say almost every single Monday. We really did it every Monday. But every Monday morning we have a safety meeting and we go over different things. We talk about different subjects, and that's really important to not only for your guys and for the camaraderie and to make sure everybody's on the same page and being safe, but it's also really good for your customers, right? To share that with them, especially my Monday morning people. I call them up. Yeah, well, the guys are normally there about 8 o'clock, but our safety meeting is running a little bit late, so they'll probably be there closer to 9. Yes, we'll schedule that for you on Monday. However, we're going to have a safety meeting that day. Well, I can't schedule it that day because of our safety meeting, right? Make sure you're always, use that, share that. Use all these things to your advantage that are about you and your company and what you do, not about somebody else's company and what they do, because, you really don't know. The other thing I'll encourage you to do before I try to wrap this up a little bit is just know before you go. Right? Know what it is that they want. Understand what it is that they want. Go and talk to them about what they want, not necessarily what you want. You need to share with them what you can do, but focus on what it is that they want. Focus in on those hot buttons that I talked about a little bit earlier. Focus on really their experience, and their experience starts with talking about them and what they want, not what you and what you want. Not about how your football game went, how their football game went. Not about how your kids' smiles are, but how their kids' smiles are. You can bring yours in. That's about building the relationship. If they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I've got a little one inside. He's got a headache because he had some teeth pulled." Oh yeah, I can totally sympathize with that. I had one one of my kids had their tooth pulled. How is your child doing? So you can mention your child, but then come back to theirs and say, and how is that little one doing? Bring those things in so that you're making it about them and their customer experience. All right, I got a couple more questions here, and then I'm going to get out of here for the day. Let's see. Hey, Doug, talked to you and Branson about picking up the phone, and you claimed off stage. This is the first time I've ever heard someone talking about selling emotion. Golden. I got to read that again because I didn't quite understand it other than the emotion part. Talk to you and Branson about picking up the phone, and you claimed off stage. I don't get what you mean by you claimed off stage. I'm sorry. This is the first time I've heard someone talking about selling emotion. Definitely. I mean, if you look at a lot of the sales things that happen online, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Burger King, doesn't matter. They try to sell you on emotion. That's true. Okay. And use that to your advantage. Use their emotions and what they want to your advantage. Absolutely. I agree with that. Loving everything else. Facebook user, great. I wish this platform wouldn't do this to us. I hate that. But David Rivas again here. Hey man, I love that because he's doing, even though he didn't give it up in the thing where it says that, just giving it to me. So David's saying here, AKA Rhino, what about YouTube education? So let me ask you, what about YouTube education, David? So is YouTube education good? Yeah, it certainly can be. It can also be bad. You can get bad information and good information from anywhere and everywhere. It is okay to use that. I think in a way, if I am talking with a homeowner though, I'm probably going to shy away from that. And the reason I say that is I don't want them thinking that all the information that they need to do to wash their own house is out there on YouTube. Though it is, I want things done correctly. I want things done right. If they are coming to me, and let me tell you this, I had several years ago, we were out doing a job. My guys were out. I showed up to the job and met with the homeowner and shook hands and all that. And he's like, yeah. He goes, I've watched all of your videos, all of your videos. I was like, oh, crap. I mean, it's good for me that everything I did on YouTube and teach on YouTube is all good stuff towards homeowners and all that kind of stuff. I don't bash homeowners and that kind of thing. But they could have learned how to do this on their own. But I preach a lot about using good quality contractors because those contractors know what they're doing. They'll have that workers' compensation insurance and that kind of stuff. So those are all good things for them. So anyhow, I think I'm going to wrap it up. If nobody else has got anything, hey, I appreciate y'all for listening to me. We've got some really big things coming out with Spray Wash Academy and Spray Wash Pro. I'm busting at the seams to get some stuff out there. Great conversation with the huge convention today. Should have an announcement coming out tomorrow about some ticket stuff. Some favors for Spray Wash Academy members, that kind of thing. Going to be really happy to put some of that out. I appreciate y'all for listening to me. And again, Doug Gore, Dougie Doo here with the Cajun. I almost said it. I didn't say it. I almost said it. Formerly of Cajun Soft Wash. Here with the Spray Wash Academy. I appreciate y'all, and Dougie Doo's out of here. Thank you.